not making a slight mistake or decisions that is uncertain inside of the line of dawn. So, best of luck for both of these teams on the grand final. Here you go. Battle Pig Face, GPX Basreng going for the first pick while Bigetron Era going for the surprise pick.
Okay, so far from all of those matches that we've seen before, of the games that they've played, they will go in for the bad or maybe like any support heroes like the Matilda or the Baxia. And actually there is and there will be a lot of variations of heroes for the pick and the lineup also. So far they've decided to ban out that Minotaur. Again, closing that AoE and that big of a CC hero right in the early, for me, is just a good pick. And even so, for the next one though, for Bigetron Era, they've decided to ban out the 1-1. They've seen how Chin Chao tried to play it. They've seen that much damage given onto the base, even though at the previous game Chin Chao didn't really got the chance to shine out that crossbow of Tang.
That's true.
But this is the moment where actually, let's just close it off first. We want to take that point in the first way. They want to be aggressive and they want to secure that point first. So along the way, they would have to have another second ban. For me, I think it's a support or even a jungler would also be good.
The falling star
Ah. So, banning over Minotaur Navaria 1-1. I don't know what is the thing that they would try to ban over this one. Are they going to be limiting the hero for Caramel or Tal maybe? Because that is a possibility. I mean, like Matilda on the hand of Tal is a bit annoying. But Guinevere is still one of the layers here coming from Bigetron Era. So GPS Basreng, actually they are not banning the super high meta hero or super prioritized hero so far. Maybe they know how they can try to counter it back or anything else. So they're not really into it. But Basha is still left open along with Nolan is there if they want and aim for that. But if it's not, they can try to pick over the other thing else with a different kind of style. But Matilda is the one that is banned by the side of GPX Basreng. I thought it's gonna be coming from the side of Bigetron Era. It's surprising, to be honest, because they just respecting the hero coming from Vivian right there. Bigetron Era, one last ban, and it's a Valentina. They don't want it to be put out inside of the line of dawn. Maybe they are aiming for a high skill, big skill kind of thing coming from the side of Bigetron Era, and Basha directly being the first pick for GPX Basreng.
It would be a very hard miss though. Basha is actually left out and they've just really want to secure on that, and a bit of a shadow pick there. I almost got pugged actually. I saw a bit of a Cyclops there, but then again, still securing the Bruno first. It is a nice secure pick knowing that they have that late game insurance. For the next one here from Bigetron Era, supporting it, one of the support heroes that actually would maybe a healer onto a Faramis, but then again securing the Fredrin as maybe the jungler or even the XP lane. We never know. It actually is a flex pick.
It is a flex pick, but a Brody pick coming from the side of GPX Basreng. They just want to have like at least the same range, just like a Bruno. So a Brody, a Bruno against a Bruno is pretty much the same. Just remember that they need to snowball in the early stage to have a better options, because in the later the game, I think it's better for the Bruno to contest it. That's why maybe they're trying to pick it on the Angela. I mean, like the Angela will help the Basha to rotate early, play it a bit early, and we're still not sure what kind of Angela is this. Is this gonna be the mid lane one? Because it's high chance it will go that way since they already have a tank jungler here. Well, for the side of Bigetron Era, after seeing those kind of pick, I think if they want to try to pick over the room, it's gonna be good. If it's not, mage is also gonna be fine. I mean, like if they want to go for a far shot or even going for a like a long range kind of situation, it's going to be great as well. But if it's not, they might want to go for an XP Lily, which is gonna be a Terizla here.
Okay, so definitely an jungler Fredrin though I can see here. And for the next one, they're trying to find a good viable way to ban out all of those things though.
Haha.
From Vival here, getting a chance to ban in the second phase, it would be more crucial, I might say. Because of that, Angela is either in the roamer or even the mid position. They need to really think which mage or maybe which roamer they need to ban out first. But not to forget, the EXP lane from GPX Basreng haven't really got secured first in the first phase of the pick. But then again, Bigetron era just banned out that Diggy because they don't want another support onto their side, or even maybe nullify the terrorless penalty zone.
And I mean, like the CC and also the things that they are having currently is working really great. I mean, like with that Terizla, with that Fredrin, along with the Bruno, if they want to go and aim for a Ruby, I won't be shocked because it's a good CC already. They just need maybe a Lilia if they want to play and clear the wave pretty easily for the high ground. But if it's not, a Ruby along with another mage, even Luyi. If they are going with a Ruby, they might want to go for a Luyi. But if it's an instant kill, I'm not going for a Luyi. But if they want to go big team fight, it can go that way. But yeah, banning over the Kaja here, they find Judgment, a pick of ability that might go to the GPX Basreng. I think for GPX, they already have a very tanky jungler, right? They also need a very good mage to be one of the hero that can go for a late game situation. To be honest, I'm thinking about Sicilian, in my opinion, because I'm thinking like they need some insurance for late game, at least. But also they need someone who can try to help the early situation. So as the options for EXP, I'm thinking about like maybe going for semi-tanky hero but also have and deals a lot of damage. If they can go with, I'm not sure, they can try to go with Yuzhong if they want to aim for the Bruno, but if they are not, they can try to go with a Paquito to try to play aggressive with the CC.
And other than that, from GPS Basreng, they can really ban off thinning out a support can also, or even a mage. But for me, I think it would be a great way to ban off a mage though. See, one of it is for Farsha, because if you don't ban out that mage, you just focused on which support they're potentially going to be picked. It would be just as if thinning more of the hero support, because it kinda can be a dual blade here, pinning on against them. GPX Basreng, there's a chance that Angela will be in the middle lane, and yet no support has to be opened up for us to see. But so far, Bigetron era got the first pick in the second phase too. Securing a mage first before GPX Basreng would actually be a good thing to avoid in. But then again, the one being secured here is actually a Florin.
That is interesting. Like the global heal here from Florin actually gonna be a huge help for whoever stays alone. So I was thinking like Boomy will be the total distraction from Bigetron era side and might be going for a solo trip here, going with the potential dive-in combination towards GPS Basreng and try to be the one who open up the war, the initiator. But with the edit that is being shadow picked here by the side of GPX Basreng, I think like it's going to be a very good condition to have like a CC with the power red and everything else, and a Sicilian definitely gonna be the insurance for the late game here by the side of GPX Basreng, along with that edit as the last pick. With that Sicilian, I think like they also need to consider a hero that can't go for the early stages until the late game. I'm thinking about Savior, to be honest, but I think like
it's too squishy. It's too squishy.
because it's the same concept, just like a Sicilian. But if they don't go for it, the Lilia is still a good one if they want to play quite early.
But at the same time, if
But
they
Gort is also looking good.
to be honest, if you just pull out that Lilia right in the first game, it kind of gives off like thinning down your mage pull hero. I might say to that, because for me, I think it's a really expensive thing to just throw out the Lilia in the first game. But then again, they would got to agree with you, Village. They actually picked on to the Gourd.
Yeah, I mean like that Gort. It will be a good one. It's confusing. I'm contemplating.
Again, so let's just not wait any longer. So we're just going to dive into the Land of Dawn for the grand finals. Game number 1 here. Get ready. GBX Basreng versus Bigetron Era.
Yeah, we will see what will happen inside of the game and how they are gonna be going for the first game right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Vival, a little bit being disturbed here by the presence of Tall, but it's still gonna be able to secure it with a very good retribution right there. Well, for the side of GPX, I think like for Caramel, she will try to do early rotation, try to notice the position of the opponents, especially if they can try to find out Chinzi, because I was mentioning it before yesterday, I guess, because for the Gourd have the ability to go for the late games condition with a very good and penetrating a lot of damage with that Mystic Ghost. So I really want to know what Shield Unity going in directly to the side of this Vival, and Vival will be able to be picked off with the low wave from Tall, but Tall receiving quite a lot of damage from Chinzi, and Vival still able to be survived.
Okay, so far that going in, finding a good way, because remembering that BTR shell is quite on a low, and if you keep on going that, it's quite a no-go for Caramel. Both marksmen are low, but then again, need to remember in the early game, Bruno really have that advantage rather than the Brody, even though that the area is quite big though. And so far, they are trying to set up on that first turtle right over there, and it has just risen. Finding out a good position to start off to that, because even though GPX controls the area, not to mention that BTR is still going head on strong, trying to pull in with the Appraisal Wrath, and also a Mystic Gush helping in with a First Blood by the Gourd, and leaving Violet only herself trying to get in. But then again, Chinzi is being the one taken down. Again, not to forget that Fumi is taken down also with a double kill secure from Bigetron Era. And from Tall and Violet, it would be a very big problem. And then another kill again. Bigetron Era is actually going head on strong in the early phases. Caramel is going to find in again, even though it is getting a bit of a brutal hit right here. Appraisal Wrath and another killing spree onto Fumi. This girl is just on fire for the grand final.
It is. Fumi is showing herself here. Showing a lot of things and even taking 301. It's just coming really well from the side of Bigetron Era. And I think like it's because this Tall being forced to do and using tons of skills. I've mentioned it before, like Angela is not an easy hero to handle spamming in the early stage. Like it needs the mana regeneration. That's why Enchanted Talisman or even the Demon Shoes are needed for those kind of hero. Especially because this Tall is going as a roamer. So I think like the progress of the item is not gonna be that fast.
Knowing that you have to support your friends too, and getting that, I think it's more important there with the Mystic Gush going in, and sadly Funi needs to be the one taken down from the side of GPX Basreng. Not to mention that Chinchao, okay, torn apart memory, but there isn't many stacks yet first, but yeah, it is very nasty. Caramel just going to barge in again, but too powerful. With a hard guard
Vivian.
trying to support in, Vivian is going to be with the bloom, and sadly is still enough to move back. But taking Caramel as the targeted one here. Jin Chao leaving only herself trying to defend with the penalty zone off to the backline. Even Doll couldn't survive all of that. And Jin Chao is just be in a bit of a mishap, even though Bigetron Era just got that double kill.
The rotation coming from Fumi even diving to the bottom lane. I mean, like, how fast is the rotation? Now FIFA, knowing that they have the advantage, they're having the lead here. They're not giving Caramel or even the rest of the player from GPX to keep fighting on, trying to have some spaces. You know, they are putting a lot of the domino evac here, the snowball that just coming, especially Fumi that is looking so strong right now. Looking even great with the damage, the level gap, the XP gap, the item gap is already been shown. Like a 3,000 gold lead on the hand of Team Bigetron Era, and they are able to secure over the turtle. And not only that, because Funi has been chased by Fumi and forced to use the bat piece, but not stopping them.
Okay, Mystic Gush going in from the backline, dealing a lot of damage, but a mega kill from Funi, leaving Tall only is alone defending, and even so falling in the hands of Bigetron Era. And then again, Violet with the onward and Earth Shatter didn't really hit anybody yet, with a lot of damage trying to scale up from Funi. Primal Wrath forced to be opened up to deal with a lot more damage to clear off the minion wave, because Bigetron Era could just barge in at any moment.
Yeah. They're just not giving this Funi space to collect all of those stocks. They have Chinzy. Yeah, I mean, like, with the Ice Queen one and even going for the glowing one, or maybe the Genie's one is enough penetration, enough burning evac, especially Mystic Gauss that has been initiated maybe with the Teresa or even Fredrin. So at this point, Bigetron Era is having a non-stop movement and even going for objective gameplay, because maybe they will try to take over the turrets in the top and also in the mid lane.
Taking over all of that with that much big power here in the early game, there's a 5,000 goal lead. It's just too much. But right here in the middle lane, Funi is trying to escape, but with that hard guard coming in just right in time, they can still survive this. But on the other hand, that blue buff is being charged over. Caramel didn't really get the chance to be in the jungler, but Vivo trying to initiate again with an Earth Shatter didn't really hit anybody yet. But Funi right in the middle here, being all in the midst. Okay, a bit of a bloom and shell is taken down by Funi. Not to mention that that blue buff is been taken away, but there is a bit of a problem here, so we are going to need
The game here, because they are already resuming the game. And Violet, I think for Violet, she is having tons of homework to try to pick up somebody, but Vivo is just... I mean, like, how she's moving around with the rest of the player from Bigetron Era is just crazy. And Fumi having the double-digit level while Viva is level 9 is beyond something.
Well, now
4-0 and 3 for Fumi.
Now I kind of have a question though, with that penalty zone going in again, versing on into two people, and Vivian is going to back up from the back, but that Terizla is just too powerful. Chinzy trying to bit of a stun here. Caramel being in the front line, taking all of that damage and being in a one here. Jinchao with the torn apart memory didn't really feel anything. Onto the side of Bigetron Air with the hard guard supporting in, but Caramel just won't stop budging in with onward and Earth Shatter taking everybody down. But with the Mystic Gush with too bit of a powerful anti-primal wrath was enough to take that Fumi down. Not to mention that it is another turret destroyed from the middle lane, leaving Chinchao and only Violet to defend in the top lane also. But let's not forget Vivo trying to cut a bit of a lane, but Caramel's trying to save the day with the Gourd trying to budge in again with a Earth Shatter and Appraisal Wrath. Didn't really give that much of a damage, and yet still scavenging alive for Vivo. Have to move back, have to reset, because if you overextend too much, it'll be very hard.
It's a very good pick off, actually. Able to secure Fumi and even a shutdown. It's a huge chances for GPX Basreng. Back again, I mean, like, the shutdown was like 200 something gold, so it helps the economy on the side of GPX Basreng. It was like 4,000 differences on the gold here, so Currently, GBX Basreng tried to manage it all. Remember, for the late game condition, I think like the draw from GPX is also like looking so strong with that Sicilian. Bigetron era, they have like some potential dive hero here, especially coming from the Terizla, coming from that Bradrin. So there's those kind of hero able to maybe aiming over that Sicilian. But the presence from Violet with Primal Rat is also a huge threat for Bigetron era. If they're having their chance, just like what they did previously, and aiming over Shell that is alone currently, and now will be the target of the side of GPX.
Okay, with the penalty zone onto the back line again, getting on to three people. But Vivian needs to really move back with the Mystic Gush, getting Chinchao onto back line with even Chinzy. Needs to be on hold with Caramel trying to phone it again, but Fumi leaving only herself.
Caramel!
And also Fumi, okay, Caramel needs to bait down again with toned down with a lot of damage, is finally being picked off by the side of Bigetron, leaving Dahl trying to help out, but that is just too much of the damage she cannot handle from that Appraisal Wrath.
Unable to secure the kill and even being bait off towards the turret, and even getting picked for 3 members from the side of GPX is not an ideal type after you getting a pick off towards Chow. I think like that is one of the quite tough decision coming from the side of GPX when they are facing that moment. What the Lightning Truncheons, it has been done by Funi and directly going for the Divine Glaive because they know they really need that penetration. That's why they are aiming for that. And maybe going for the Ice Queen 1 for the slow evac. Because if they're going for the slow evac, the chances for Fumi and also Vivat try to chase them down is not gonna be that easy. But to be honest, I prefer if it's gonna be the Necklace of Durance because it's only one Dominance Eyes in the hand of Edith and might be coming from the side of Caramel. The heal coming from Vivian, the regeneration coming from Fumi, and even for Vival, I think like it's also need to be counted.
Okay, but Dahl here being the one targeted with that much stun. Wouldn't even move, and Shell just secured that kill and even the turret down in the bottom lane, freezing that Lord that is trying to march in. And this is the chance from Bigetron era trying to pick off that middle turret while that Lord is just freely roaming and getting all of that to the base turret here in the middle. Even the passive has been broken off both from the top and a penalty zone on the side of Jinta with a flicker on for defensive. Violet needs to move back, and even that extended Mystic Gush can kill off a lot more. That bloom effect from the Chlorine leaves off too much, leaving only one, but a killing spree from Funi taking that one away. These Sicilians have that much of the high ground defense.
And they choose not to continue that because they know they are not allowed to fed on this Sicilian. It's a killing spree suddenly for this Funi, and Funi with the Sanguine Claw along with the bad impact, it will giving tons of impact at this particular minutes. It's 12 minutes so far instead of the let of done, and four participation has been made by the hand of Sicilian. We can talk a little bit about this replay. Well, that penalty zone actually looking really good, and even the Mystic Gush focusing over Chinchao. They know what they're aiming for. They're aiming for Chinchao for not be able to use or giving the damage to the side of Bigetron. But when they see that Funi having that and dealing that damage, they also like considering the decision they need to make. That's why retreating, and it's 24 seconds before the next Lord appear on the Land of Dawn. Demon Hunter Sword has been done by Chell to have more damage towards Caramel.
Okay, but so far Bigetron era is still finding ways maybe to pick up one of those players from GPX. But let's not forget that Lord, that second Lord has emerged right now in the Land of Dawn, and BTR is just eyeing for it that much. Moving from the middle lane, from the river, onto the bottom side of the map, starting that Lord. Even GPX wouldn't even try to poke out, but a bit of a contest here, starting in Violet, opening up vision. Then again, a bit of a stunt here, but even Bigetron era got that one down here with that penalty zone onto that, but GPX was able to secure that Lord.
Ho ho! Stealing that Lord in their hand and giving them more time to survive on this game. It will drag the game into the late stage.
That 50-50 though.
It is. Not at
That-
this moment. I mean, like, it's 40 minutes inside of the game and they're having Sicilian. That's why I was mentioning it before. Because they cannot rely only on Chin Chao's position because it will be directly targeted by Bigetron era. And now Caramel.
Okay, 3 people try to follow up again, but GPX is ready for that bit of an
Violet.
onward and an Earth Shatter canceling out again. Vivian is trying to be in the front with the Primal Wrath and also the Mystic Gush, but that is a monster kill for Chinzy. That Gord is unstoppable, and reminder that this Lord cannot go in near that turret. So Bigetron era needs to clean that up first. Not to mention from GPX, didn't really even got the chance to budge in one of the turrets. They just need to just move back here. From the bottom lane, a bit of a health there with the Angela. Finally taking one from Bigetron era in the second phase here, in the second tire.
Yeah, because the only person that can do the split points is only the Angela. The ability to possess someone with the heart guard is just there. But there you go. On the Crest of Durance by the hand of Tall and also Ice Queen 1 in the hand of Sicilian. And now, with that, the exchange of the item has been made. Shell to try to change it into the magic Divan shoes here. Try to hold a little bit of the damage that is given by the side of this Funi. But on the other hand, we are seeing a lot of respective movement coming from the Terizla with the Radiant Armor and then from this Rival with the same kind of item. But I think the position is what's matter here. If they're able to secure this Sicilian, it's gonna be a huge advantage for Bigetron era. But if they are not able to do so, that is gonna be the huge threat. Because so far, I do see like Violet and also Caramel like to play around on the front and try to embrace the movement from Bigetron era for not letting them to get close to the backliner.
Okay, but so far Bigetron era, I would say Fumi is only the one who has the ability to just flicker and jumps to the back, getting Jinjiao or Funi in that using that ultimate there. So the penalty zone would actually have to make it that far to actually pin down one of those heroes. But then again, that ambush would actually be really hard. So for me, find a secure thing. Find the secure thing is securing that lore. That third one there just popped in with the Bigetron era. Tries to start that in with Caramel ready to steal that one again. It would be a very, very hard thing to do. But so far, Chell is trying to deal on a bit of a damage there. Caramel is ready. That hard guard is also ready to back that up. Trying to find a good maneuvering around that Lord Pit. Find a good way to maybe target onto like Shell or maybe on one of it that pulling back with the Sicilian. Okay, getting A with that Primal Wrath with a lot of damage pulling on, but sadly using that immortality and also the penalty zone getting onto 3 people with that Mystic Gush again. But sadly, a godlike for Bigetron era securing all of that, and 2 people are down from GPX Basreng.
That 4 membered on that Terizla's hand. It was dirty and Funi plus Violet able to be taken care of. That penalty zone is a huge penalty for Funi. Not being able to get back from that condition is just crazy here. Now, it's only like 9 seconds before the next appearance from Funi, but back again, I mean, that is the Lord on the 18 minutes. It's still gonna be having like a huge thing to push it towards the base of
Okay, another penalty zone going in,
but
defending all of that, but Fumi's health is going to be in obscure. And then again, GPX needs to really watch out on that Mystic Gush quite early. But just a bit of a ticklish there onto Violet's side. And let's not forget the Lord has entered again, finding a good way. Funi and also Fumi can put it down. Fumi didn't really get the chance to go into the back. And Funi, that Sicilian, can help onto that. And then again, another penalty zone onto like 4 people there with the Primal Wrath opening up. But Sally didn't really deal much of a damage. Need to go back to the side of Felix. But Bigetron Era has been the one. They can get all of that to the base, focus it on, and they've secured for the first point here, leaving that only bit of a second, but GPX is still allowed to be on the defensive side, but yet wasn't successful to be on that one.
Oh my god, it was a close one. Bigetron able to secure the first game right here, despite that GPX giving them some traps on that game. It was things for the side of Team Bigetron, and they did. Actually, this is, I think, the downfall coming from the side of GPX Basreng, because after this war, I do feel like GPX were forcing a lot to go on the next war with Bigetron Era. I think like if they are going back, Tal, example like Tal not continuing to follow the Violet, I think it's gonna be so much better. And there's like, okay, Tal, go back, not helping Violet, because after that they were being picked off. And this Caramel diving in, trying to chase down for Chal along with that Vivian is also like a huge mistakes, to be honest, because if they are forcing that much, it's not giving the other chances for Chin Chao to able to like having pile up the gold, the difference like that. And if you're giving Fumi all the items, all the EXP that she needs to go for it, I think like for this one, it's not like a perfect combination coming from Bigetron Era, but they still managed to be able to shut some of the players coming from GPX, especially Chin Chao and Caramel, top 2 important players from GPX at that current moment.
Okay, but I might say how Bigetron Era didn't really force that in, even though they know that they've got that upper hand. But still, that discipline though, and that penalty zone a few times throughout the whole game, from the early until to the late, it's just purely amazing. And what's more amazing, that they've managed to got 3 lords there. GPX Basreng got the chance to defend this pretty well right here. We thought that it would be an ending moment. They got to defend it, but then again, BTR is just too much. Chinzy was helping very, very much. And we can also see here in the match MVP, it's DTR right here with a 7-1-10 KDA and an 85 kill participation with a 690 GPM with item builds here. The Blood Wings.
Yeah, even Blood Wings.
It's in the front though.
I mean like the GPM was 690, 71 and 10, 17 participation. She is rich. Rich. So definitely rich. That's why she's making over the Blood Wings to finalize the condition. And even for Blood Wings, this is what I like about Blood Wings. The shield that she got after that certain point is just like looking good and dealing tons of damage to the opponent as well. But yeah, Jinzy, really great job with that gourd. But a big shout out for Fumi once again. Fumi was splendid. She's splendid in this game and showing a lot of movement for the side of Bigetron Era. GPX Basreng, sadly, with those rotation, with those early aggression that they try to make to try to get something, unable to giving them chances to perform well, despite that Fumi tried so hard to give the damage and they tried so hard to drag this game to the late game. We realized that for sure. They try so hard to try to drag this game for the late stage of the game, but the condition is